Hybrid 4.
Game of Thrones star Liam Cunningham is here with us, along with Reverend Jules Hamilton, the co-founder of the Good Summit, which is taking place in Trinity College this week, and Liam is going to be one of the speakers there. What are you doing, Liam?
What am I doing? Well, as the name suggests, it's the Good Summit, and as we've seen certainly in the last little while, or the last couple of years, there has been a resurgence of the do-gooder. The perfect example is Greta. At the moment, a young, fantastic lady who sits outside complaining outside the Parliament, and it's turned into a global movement. With
a lot of not so good people deciding they want to smear her in every way possible.
No, absolutely. Listen, you're always going to get the haters going to hate, as they say on the old social media. So when you've got people like that, and people like the charity like World Vision that I work for, who are unhesitatingly going out and trying to make people's lives a little better and give them dignity and hope and whatever. And if we don't continue along that path and expand that do-gooding, we're going to paint ourselves into a horrific corner, both climate-wise, economically, politically, and racially. So that's basically we're blowing the trumpet of doing good.
And Reverend Jules Hamilton, Methodist chaplain in Trinity College Dublin.
Yeah.
Tell us about this. What have you put together for this Good Summit? Who are all these do-gooders?
Do you know what? I love being called a do-gooder, because anybody who knows me, it's the last word they would ever use about me. Do you know what we discovered? So a few years ago, I did some work in Trinity with the Muslim Society, and my co-founder in this is actually called Amr Dawood. He was a young Muslim social entrepreneur, and so we became friends. We did some Christian-Muslim work and dialogue together, and then after the horrific attacks in 2015 in Paris, the Students' Union and Trinity asked us both to address a peace vigil in Front Square. And that was really moving, actually, having us both take part. About 500 students, they lit candles into the darkness in November. It was really special. And at the end of that, Amber and I chatted and went, we got to do something. So that kind of sense of everybody can do something and everybody should do something is what actually lies behind the doing good. And, you know, the other side of that is we don't focus on one thing. We deliberately bring together educationalists and health and environmental people and politicians and actors and activists, because actually there's something about all of us together can create something meaningful for the world. There isn't one bunch of people who actually have an answer to the problems that Liam was just outlining there.
So it's going on tomorrow. Who have you got in to speak, and can anyone go in, or does that have to be just Trinity's students?
Do you know what? I'm really glad that Liam's still here, because a few other people actually pulled out. We had a few politicians in the last few days who were lined up to come, and they've all had their diaries cleared for this week, so I'm not sure what's going on, but there must be something happening. So Liam's going to be taking part tomorrow night. Really happy to listen to his work with World Vision, actually, and to hear about how he has used his notoriety for good in different ways. In the morning, we've got Simon Anholt, who started the Good Country Index. You might remember that. Ireland won the first one, so he has a way of indexing countries to see what is the goodest country in the world. And I
have met him. Yes, I know you mean.
So a wonderful guy named Matt Callahan, who started We Make Good Happen in the UK. He's over there. We've got again in the morning our keynote Claire Lyons-Collins, who runs mental health improvement in the NHS in the UK. And literally we've got about 40 speakers in different panels throughout the day. So the Provost will kick it all off for us in the morning and welcome everybody in. And then panels on everything: environment, education, politics.
I presume, Liam, you're going to speak about something that I've spoken to you about in this programme a number of times, which has really come back to the public consciousness in the last week or two: Syria.
Yes, it has. Yeah, with the whole business with Trump taking out the troops and the Turkish, the head of the.
I know a lot of people feel, the Americans shouldn't be there, but there are times when American troops actually act as a deterrent, as a peacekeeping force. And this is effectively what they were doing there, and removing them has allowed the Turks free rein to do terrible things. Yeah,
well, I suppose you can't tell the future, and I have to admit that the one Trump tweet that I did actually retweet was him saying we need to get out of the Middle East. It's not our wars, and wasting not only the local men, women and children, but also American lives in a situation that really has nothing to do with them. I do like the idea of America stopping being the world's policeman. The trouble is, as you say, you can create a vacuum
There's ways and means of doing these things.
Yes, I agree. However, the most important thing is to deal with the situation on the ground, which is help the unfortunates that are being pummeled by these weapons that have been sold by. I mean, Germany's just decided to stop selling weapons to the Turkish
and France
government
as well, I think.
Yeah, I think so. But listen, they're a member of NATO. They have to be that sort of behaviour has to be reined in, because otherwise you're gonna bring the name of NATO was originally there that if you attack one, the whole purpose of NATO was if you attack one, you attack all, which is understandable. It's a defensive position, but a member of NATO now is attacking northern Syria and again invading the sovereign space of Syria. That war should be coming to an end.
I know you started laughing. You were talking about sort of doing good, do-gooders, whatever and stuff. But do you ever start feeling when you try and actually highlight issues, and you have been on this program a number of times, you use your social media accounts, and you get a bit of a kickback and a pushback, don't you?
Oh, yeah. I've got, in fact, I just, just to go back to the NATO thing briefly, I did say, a very brief, sometimes I'll throw stuff out for the purposes of discussion, and I said, look, Turkey is a member of NATO. NATO is, therefore, attacking northern Syria. And there's a huge backlash, and some of it isn't pretty. Some of it is... yes, there's a lot of monosyllabic replies, but you got to take it on the chin. I mean, you're it's a parapet. You're shouting when you're on Twitter, so you can't be sensitive. If you're sensitive, you'd throw your computer out the window. But you have to get these things out. Some things that don't make it. I mean, Brexit is the top of the news for the last while, and even more so this week. And stuff gets pushed down. So when in our little way, with myself and Jules are coming on here saying, look, we got to do good. It's very easy to be cynical. It's very easy to say, what the hell difference will it make? It makes a difference. I've seen what 20p can do for kids in Africa and refugees, and to welcome someone and say you've given somebody a safe haven. If anybody says, and I've seen this argument about pitting the homeless, why aren't we looking at the homeless? If you have made a decision to pit two vulnerable groups against each other, shame on you. We need to be helping both as much as we could, and that's another thing that the summit is about.
Liam Cunningham, thank you very much. Game of Thrones star, Dr. Reverend Jules Hamilton, co-founder of the Good Summit.